Nearly a decade after police found the body of an elderly Colorado Springs woman in the crawl space of her own home, her case has gone cold. Her son is still pleading for answers amid his family's buried secrets. KRDO News Channel 13 Sydney Stell joins us live in studio with this exclusive cold case report. Sydney.
Heather, David Brownlee now lives in Alabama, but a part of him never left Colorado after his 72-year-old mother vanished from the Springs in 2013. To this day, what really happened remains a mystery. As the leaves start to turn and the first flurries start to fall, David Brownlee knows his mother's favorite holiday is right around the corner. It doesn't hold the magic it used to.
She'd go all out for Christmas, packages wrapped, tree up, nativity up, lights up, everything. She really loved Christmas.
David is getting ready to spend his 9th Christmas without her.
I didn't think it's better. It's just like it just, each year goes on. She was just fun to be around.
David says his mom was not close to many people and could be hard to get to know. But one thing was for sure, the thing she loved most in this world was her kids.
She genuinely cared for my sister and I, and she would take us to do fun things. Like, I like swimming, so she'd take me swimming. She wasn't a swimmer. She would just dangle her feet in the water, and that would be it.
Then, as his mom, Joanne, grew older, she started to lose her sight.
With glaucoma, there's a good chance, if you have it, at some point in a person's life, they can go blind from it, and some people don't, but my mom did.
His sister lived with his mom in this house near Palmer Park, helping take care of her, though David said they bickered.
I wish that she would have made another choice, because we could have made other arrangements for my mom and sister.
At the time, David didn't realize how bad things had gotten between his mom and sister until one day his sister showed up to a family gathering alone.
My sister said that my mom was at a blind person's convention up in Denver, and so I didn't have any reason to doubt her or anything, so I believed her.
He regrets that. He later found out there was not a convention happening in Denver at the time. 2 weeks later, in late January of 2013, David and his wife officially reported his mom missing. Her purse was found at a fast food restaurant about 5 miles from his mom's home. And then police found Joanne. The 72-year-old had been stuffed in the crawl space of her own home. Her autopsy report reveals she had been brutally beaten, with wounds to her face, fractured ribs, bruises covering most of her body.
How did it happen? Was it just a moment of violence, an argument that led one thing to another? That's kind of the puzzling thing for me still.
David says his sister was initially questioned by police, but then stopped cooperating. To David's knowledge, no one has ever been listed as a suspect or person of interest in this case, but Colorado Springs police would not confirm that or talk about the investigation. He lost touch with his sister soon after his mom's murder. He says he doesn't even know if she's still alive.
I lost 2 people. I lost my mom, and then I lost what I thought was a good relationship with my sister.
Despite everything that's happened, David hopes to one day reconnect with his sister, one of the only family members he has left.
I just would like to know what happened.
As more time passes, that possibility feels like it's fading, as David starts to come to terms with the fact that he may never find out what really happened to his mom. Now, we wanted to get David's sister's side of the story, but after several attempts, we couldn't reach her. Police also told us this investigation is too active for them to comment right now. But if you know what happened to Joanne Brownlee, please contact Colorado Springs Police right away. Reporting from our studio, I'm Sydney Stell, KRDO News Channel 13.
A mystery indeed. Sydney, thank you.